What's up? This is John from JJ Capital with a State, baby. All right, boys and girls, it is 5:04. I'm a little late. I apologize. Had a vendor pull up, and right at 4:55, and they're gone. So, not going to take up a lot of your time today. Appreciate you for joining in. Show you what I got going on. We're just going to get right to it. Picked up this today at the old Harbor Freight. This is what it is. It's 400 foot of wire storehouse, part number 61527. And that's what it has on there. Zip cord. But anyways, that's that. And so I pulled the plastic off of these too quick, but run the wire through there. Seemed like pretty decent wire. So what I have done so far is I have pulled the wire for the fuel pump and the fuel sending gauge. Also went to salvage and picked up this plug for the alternator. And honestly, I'm not even going to use these. Don't need these. The only one I need is this one, is the third pin. This is the 12 volt exciter wire, whatever you want to call it. But the problem is I need a 470 ohm half watt 470 ohm half watt resistor. So I need to solder a resistor on this end of this wire, hook the wire up for the alternator for the wiring harness, and we're good to go. And then pull these pins, and we don't need it. And that GM that LS alternator is good as enough. So, looks like more than from yesterday. Got those wires pulled. Got some more wires pulled up in here. This is for the sender. Looks like a bunch of more mess. But that's that. It's already dark. And I ain't got no haircut yet. I'm working on it. See, it's already dark 30. I think he broke that car. Yep. I believe this truck is broken. It's a broken. So, and that'll be, and like I said, that's cool. Well, that's cool. I lost y'all for a second. So, I know it looks like a mess, which it is. So, to add, yesterday, somebody asked me, why is there a hole there? Well, I put a four-wheel drive tunnel, and it goes over this, and then you fasten it, because I needed to get in here so I could pull these wires and put a grommet and all that good stuff. So I got to get some heat shrink so I can hook up the grounds, put some heat shrink over these, and then once everything is rough ran, I will come back. And wire loom everything. And I think I got the box of wire loom over here. Oh, it's over here. Also, boys and girls, I have ordered, there it is, this right here. This Alex Tech split sleeve. Got this off of the Amazon, and that's what it looks like. So it kind of mimics mimics the factory one. So let's see if it has a part number. So just Alex Tech split sleeving. This right here is, what size is this? Right there. 3/8. Right there. Let me see. There we go. So this is 3/8. 25 foot of 3/8 cord protector, wire loom, tubing, cable sleeve. And this right here, see how that looks? That mimics this. See, that's what come on this Terminator X kit. So just want to match it. And so I got 3/8 and half and 3/4, I believe. So once everything's done, all the wires are run, everything's good, everything tests out, everything power probes, all that, I will go through here and I will loom every bit of this and then tuck it up here nice and neat. Yesterday, just to revisit, got the bridge module, got the controller, and then there's the computer for the LX Terminator and all that good stuff. I have to put 12-volt constant, a ground, and I have to put in the fuel sensor. And then I think that's it, lickety split on that. So how's everybody? I think you broke your car. Hi, hola. Here's some little, I'm gonna show you these right here. I seen these right here, these sorter and seal wire connectors, 600 piece. So here they are, and on the inside right there, there's sorter right there, right? Well, not doing too good with these. And the reason why is because the problem is if you use a heat gun to heat up this sorter to melt into the wire. So the way this works is, I'll show you. So the way this is supposed to work is you take the wire and you put one in one side. Let's see, that's too small. So you're supposed to put one wire in like that, and then the other wire beside each other, like so. And then you heat this up, and this is shrink tube and seal it, and then this solder will melt and tin the wires, and you're good to go. The problem is you have to get it so dab-blang hot to melt the solder with the heat gun. It melts the shrink tube so bad that it just falls apart. Just falls apart. And it's no good. Which sucks. But in theory, you know, you heat it up, this melts, tins the wire together, this shrink tubes, that shrink tubes, and it's good to go. But if you have to put a lot of heat to it, it will melt this plastic with a heat gun on low. This plastic will just, this heat tube will just deteriorate. And I've had connections fail and come back to figure out that it was this. So, this is the kit. Got it off of Amazon. You see right there, it says step 1, step 2. The problem is you have to get it so hot to melt the solder. It melts everything and it just falls apart. Just falls apart. So no bueno, no bueno. So they're not working. They're no good. No good. That's about it, boys and girls. Like I say, I'm gonna try to go live every day at 5. Just kind of give you an update what went on today. But wiring is not excitement. But well, there you is. What's up, Ginger Roger 711? What you got, buddy? I was gonna hold tight and not tell anybody. Maybe Moogle will come on here. I looked up that movie he told me to look up. Remember the other day when we were talking? And he said that, what was it, 4 Lines or something? And I looked it up and it was an Australian movie. And I looked it up and he said, once you start watching it, he said, you'll figure out why I said you remind me of somebody on there. And sure enough, when it started and it come on and I got to watching it, I seen the person that he said that reminded him of me, which was kind of cool, which is funny. So, it's an Australian movie, I believe. So I've had a lot of people asked about Cerakoting and hydro dipping. And good gracious, we up to 50 people. I had a lot of people ask about hydro dipping and Cerakoting. Well, I went to some classes a few months back for Cerakoting and got all that took care of, got all that squared away. But to do firearms, you have to have your federal firearms license, which is Federal Firearms License 7, to do anything with a firearm. So basically what ATF says, if you do anything with a serial number, you have to have your federal firearms license. Anything that doesn't have the serial number on it, you can do whatever. I'm going to pick up the wife's truck next Friday. Ha ha, I can't wait. Yeah, boy, that sounds good. Keep me posted. So, so to do Cerakoting, you have to have an oven. So I've been talking to several different companies about ovens. It's sort of like a powder coat oven, but it's on wheels. I've been talking to some different companies. I could probably build me an oven, but by the time you bend the sheet metal, get the sensors, get the heating elements, put the wheels, the insulation, and all that mess, you can't build one for what they selling them. So I found a couple companies. I found one the other day. I talked to them. I really like them. I like what they got going on, and talking about their oven. And their oven, the way I understood it, is it's still on wheels. So it's on wheels so I can move it around, and it's still big enough where I can get rims or something in it. But I'm looking to do, motorcycle parts, firearms, car parts, plastics. You can do plastics, stuff like that. And another thing is also looking into hydro dipping. So it's kind of funny that everybody has the same thought, but then, whatever, and then it happens. Years ago, I thought about doing it, but the stuff was so expensive and I had so much stuff going on. So now I talked to a company. Today about hydro tanks, right? So then I found a company here in North Carolina that builds hydro dip tanks. So talked to them on the phone, told them what I was looking for, told them what I wanted to do, give them all my information, and just like that, boom, yeah, we in the hydro dipping business. Just like that. So stay tuned for that, because that's going to be an adventure as well. So we're going to start doing hydro dipping on top of everything else. So the reason why is because we not getting no younger, sure ain't getting no prettier. Looking at something to do, something a little different. Not getting out of the car world completely. Not getting out of the car world completely. Like I said, not getting out of the car world completely. Just going to just get it down just a little bit. And also going to do quality over quantity, and want to offer more. It worked out. So I want to offer more to my clients, past, current, and future. And to do that, we got to constantly change and evolve. So hydro dipping is something not new. There's hundreds of thousands of different patterns, and somebody's like, well, that's not paint. You're being blasphemous. No. I'm just looking at what's trending and what's going on and what everybody's doing. And there's a whole different avenue out there, because let's be honest, vehicles take a long time. So a buddy of mine, an older gentleman that I look up to for years, he told me the other day, he says, you need to get into stuff that's in and out and gone. Stuff that hangs around for more than a month is way too long. You need to start being more specific. You need to be more directive with people. Like, if this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing. Because I'm a one-man band, and this band is getting tired. I feel like the Tom and Jerry song, Tom and Jerry show. All the instruments are getting played. How did the thing? It went as good as it could go. Of course, the customer, the client, super great. They understood that it didn't fall on me, but I was responsible for it. At the end of the day, I was responsible. Even though that they signed off on to take it where I took it, they signed off on it. We just got a plan together, and I didn't fix it before they picked it up because there was no way. So we have a plan together. We came up with a plan. They're going to do what they're going to do. They're going to start putting it together, do this, do that, do this. Then I'm going to go to their place, take my stuff, the buffer, the other buffer the new buffer that I got, the polisher, and repolish the car. And then the places that was cut through, God, that hurts my heart to even say it. I'm going to take my water airbrush and my micro brush and airbrush, and I am going to try to fix the edges with the airbrush and spray some 30-minute clear, which will dry and speed clear, and then come back and lightly hand polish the edges and try to do the best I can to blend the edges and just be baby steps with it. That's awesome. I know it might be a lot. Yeah, I mean, you think about it. I mean, put your so let's put myself in their shoes, right? Let's use my tractor, for example, right? So my tractor, my John Deere tractor, my 3032E tractor, it's under warranty, right? So it started leaking on the front left knuckle at the wheel hub. It was leaking. Took it to John Deere. They fixed it. Kept it for X amount of time. Don't want to tell you wrong, but it was a pretty good while. They kept it for a long time. I get the tractor. I put it on the trailer. I come home. It takes about 45 minutes to get home. When I get home, there was oil on the trailer from the tractor where the nut leaking. So it was leaking before I even got home. Now, I did drive it in the parking lot. I did inspect it. I did look at it, and there was no leaks. But as soon as I got home, just riding on the trailer, there was leaks. So I called them and said, hey, look, this is what happened, blah, 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 whatever. And they said, fine, just bring it back. So the inconvenience of me taking it back. So I took it back, dropped it off. They kept it for a pretty good while. Eventually, they called me back, said, we got it fixed. I said, okay, great. I get it back. I keep it for just a little bit, and she starts knocking, like, CV axle. That's the best way. That's the best way I can, explain it. So, you know, at Honda Civic or stuff like that, when you go turn the wheel, you hear it clack, 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 clack. Well, that's what it was doing on the front knuckle. And I said, what in the world is wrong with this thing? So I thought something had got up in it, but you hear the grind. So I turn it off. I look at everything. I check everything. I take the oil dipstick off of the front axle. I unscrew it and I look, and there's no oil in the front case. It's empty. There's no oil. Everything's dry. There's nothing leaking. There's nothing wet. There's there's no oil. So I document it. I video it. I call the service manager. I got his cell phone number. I text him, said, hey, look, can I call you? He's like, yeah. I called him. I sent him a video, and he's like, well, is it leaking anywhere? I said, no, it's not leaking. I said, it's not leaking, but I'm going to go get some gear oil. Yeah, Brad, wow. So I'm going to go get some gear oil, and I'm going to put it in the front case, the front floating axle on my 3032E tractor. And I'm going to finish doing what I'm doing. I was mowing. Just about done. So just a few minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, get done, bring the tractor home, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I take the tractor to them, and then they call me and say, man, what in the world did you do this thing? When we took the front hub assembly off, the whole, because that's a floating gear inside there, said the whole gear just fell out on the floor. I said, I didn't do nothing to it. So then they tried to say that it wasn't normal wear and tear, and they tried to put it off on me that I had to pay to have it fixed. And I was like, no, that ain't gonna happen. I said, no. So they got into politics or whatever. I got something in my eye, and it's not my eyeball. Needless to say, still aggravated, jumping up, down, cussing, raising Cain, cussing somebody out, because, that's what you want to do, because, that makes you feel better until it don't. That's not going to fix the problem. So they keep it forever. I go get the tractor. One of the guys said, you owe this money, blah, blah, blah. And then it's just him home. So we got all that worked out. And I left, right? Get the tractor back, and I clean up out there, that section up there. I go mow just a little bit. And then last week, go back and look at some of my short videos. I went to unload a truck, and the driver said, hey, man, you're leaking oil or something, your hydraulics. And I look, and my hoses are good, right? And then I was like, yeah, and I looked down, and it's the wheel. I took a picture of it, right? Took a picture of the wheel. And then I get up there, I signed the ticket for the driver, for the chassis, for the 61 Ford box truck. Then, after that happens, I called the service manager at John Deere, and I said, hey, look, man, this is what's happened. This thing's leaking, blah, blah, blah. And I said, man, you're probably going to hate me, but my tractor's still messed up. And he says, well, what'd you do to it? I said, I didn't do nothing to it but get on and drive it. You know what I mean? It's always, what'd you do to it? I don't know, man. I just thought I'd just cause problems and just tear something up. I mean, come on, man, really? So he's like, well, just bring it to me and I'll see what's going on. I said, okay, cool, not a problem. I said, all right, man, I'll see what I can do. So I literally go from that spot another 10 foot, right? And I'm coming down the driveway, down the gravel. And I noticed the front wheel doing like this. I was like, that's not good. So I go to put the mast down. I go to put the bucket down or the forks down to pick the front axle up to see where it was leaking, and the wheel fell off. And when I'm not talking about it fell off from the lug nuts or the studs, it fell off. The spindle was sticking out. You look in, all you can see is the bearing. That's it. That's all you could see. Tractor just in the gravel. So took a video of it, sent it to the service manager, and he's like, what in the world did you do? I said, do nothing, the wheel fell off. So if you look at the spindle on the tractor, you have the splines, and at the top, you have where there's a clip, a C-clip. Well, that's similar to the GM rear end. So you have to take that outer hook, the flange bolts out. You pull it out, there's a planetary gear in there that floats. And then the gear goes, the spindle goes through the gear, and then on the back side, there's a C-clip. And that C-clip is what keeps the hub from walking out, just like on a GM rear end. You got the C-clip that goes left and right when it come out. There's no clip to be found, and the end of the splines look like they have been chewed up with a hammer, like just beat the fire. Well, the bearing collar that's on the hub that holds it in there, it's sheared off. Of course it's sheared off because it's pushing out too far, because it's got that force, and it just sheared it. So took video, documented it, and yesterday they sent the rollback to come pick it up. The driver, he's like, man, what in the world? They forgot the clip. You exactly right. I'm with you, 7-Eleven. They forgot the C-clip. Even though I don't think the C-clip got on there, because honestly, the splines on the end and the little ring on the end where the C-clip snapped, it was so hammered, it was so chewed up that a C-clip wouldn't get on there. So again, I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. I'm just diagnosing it and looking at it. Okay, this is what happened. This is my hypothesis. That's a big word like mayonnaise. This is my hypothesis. I don't think that this happened. Now, I didn't accuse nobody. I'm just saying this is what I thought. So when the driver come to get the tractor and I showed him, he's like, man, what in the world happened? I said, I don't know, boss man. You look at it and you tell me what you think. And he looks at it and he's taking pictures. He said, I got to take pictures of this. And he goes, man, he said, where's the C-clip? He said, where's the C-clip? I said, I don't know. I don't know where it's at. It's gone. It ain't there. I said, ain't here. He's like, man, this is wrong on so many levels. He said, I'd be mad. I'd be cussing. It's like 50 Cent said, no problem until we got a problem. And then when we got a problem, no problem. If you understood what I just said, then that makes sense. If you don't, then I'm sorry. So he's like, man, I can't get it on the rollback. I said, I'll show you how we're going to get on the rollback. So I picked the front axle up, picked the floater, slid the spindle in there, set it down real easy, picked the mass up, dropped the bucket, took the scrape blade off, moved the scrape blade, picked the scrape blade up. I picked it up, moved it out of the way, and I backed it up on the rollback as far as I could roll it. We hooked the winch to it. We winched it on there. We strapped it down. And he said, man, I'm going to take it. And the service manager said to give him the work ticket directly, and he will call you. I ain't heard nothing. I'm not calling because they know it's broke. They know that I know it's broke. They know it's broke, and they got to fix it. So Charles said, the driver, I dropped his name. Charles said, the driver, he said, you know what they need to be? He said, the first time, I can understand. The second time, not so much. The third time, no. This is the fourth time. They just need to order a whole new front axle assembly from John Deere and be done with it. I said, yeah, I guess so. I guess so. But, you know, I didn't get mad because it ain't going to fix the tractor, you know. And when you get mad, sometimes you say stuff you shouldn't say. Sometimes you regret it, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes you don't. You know, you just don't never know what's going on. You don't never know what battle somebody's fighting. But I will say this part. If I have to be ugly, I can be ugly. Do I choose to be ugly? No. Does ugly solve anything? No. So I choose not to be ugly But if I have to be ugly, I choose not to be ugly, because somebody will forget your name. I promise you. 40 years from now, somebody will probably forget your name, okay? But I promise you what they won't forget. They won't forget how you made them feel. That's a definite. It'd be 40 years from now. Be 86 years old sitting on a rocking chair, and they say, you remember that boy down there in Canada, down there in the Peach Capital? I can't remember what his name was. But he was a mean son of a bitch. He was mean as a rattlesnake. Boy, he was mean. You remember what his name was? No, I don't know, man. But I seen him snatch the soul out of somebody at the supermarket one time. I mean, he just picked them up and just snatched the soul out of them, boy. Woo. I can't remember his name. But boy, I tell you what, man, he sure did break that boy's nose. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, so let's say, okay. I got an oil change at the Ford brand new. Hold on. I got an oil change at Ford. Brand new car. My wife drives. An hour and 10 minutes away, they forgotten to tighten the oil filter. They got their chewed for the lifetime. So tell me how much oil was sprayed from one end to the other end. Hey, well, at least they put oil in it. These Jiffy Lubes, not here. There's not a Jiffy Lube here. I mean, they ain't but 600. They ain't but 887 people that live in this town that I live in. I mean, the last census, I think it was like 850 people. I mean, in the town that I live in. So, I mean, there's not no Jiffy Lube. Now, there's service stations around here that change oil and stuff, but there's no Jiffy Lube. Now, if you go 30 miles north or 30 miles south or 30 miles west or 30 miles east, the city changes completely. Completely. There's Jiffy Lubes and stuff like that. Be lucky if they put oil in it. I know everybody's heard so many horror stories of going to those 15 minutes or less oil change and get down the road and the light come on, and the next thing you know, the light's on. You're like, why is the light on? And next thing you know, it slams in the daggone lock mode and just, it was in limp mode once. It hit the low Ford Fiesta. Hey, another bad thing about them oil changes and stuff, a lot of places, the flat O-ring that's on the oil filter, when they screw the oil filter off, they throw the old oil filter in the trash, and then they screw the new one on there, and they don't realize that the old filter gasket O-ring is still on the block, and they screw it on there, and now you got double O-rings. You got the old one and the new one, and then when they go to tighten it, they think it's tight, but it's tight against that rubber O-seal, that ring, and that ring it shifts when it gets hot, and then next thing you know, it's blowing oil out that way too. So, since we're on the subject of oil, what year model is that thing? 2015, 16, 18? I don't know. It's either a 17 or 18 or 19. It's not a 19. Lord knows it's not a 19. I think it's a... Anyways, so I have a Chevrolet Cruze LTZ Turbo. Super cool little car. The only reason why I got it is because of the interior. I actually bought it for my oldest son for him to drive, but he don't drive it. But anyway, it's white. I wish it was black, but it's white. And the only reason why I bought the car is because of the interior. When I seen the interior, went and got it immediately. It has a leather limited brickyard leather interior. It was a limited edition, but it has that 2.2 4-cylinder turbo in it. So went to change the oil in it, And the oil plug and the oil pan was, them boys somewhere put that son gun on with a daggone 1-inch drive impact. I mean, it was like cat's meow. I mean, it was on there. Hardly no head on it whatsoever. I mean, let's use this for an example. You see the head on this boat? There was hardly nothing on it. And you know it's got a shoulder on it anyway, and then it's got like an 8mm head. I would suggest you use 520 conventional. You get, hold on a second. I suggest you use Ford 520 conventional. You will get maximum, and we run. So it's got like an 8mm head on it, right? I mean, there was nothing. So I have these easy out sockets. I don't know if I got them in here. Yeah, matter of fact, I do, right here. So I got these sockets, right? These are, I think they're Duralast. Yeah, Duralast from AutoZone. You see these sockets right here? They're supposed to be able to grab bolts that's the head is wore out on them, so the tighter you tie them, and it just cuts into it. That wasn't getting it. That wasn't getting it. And I'm like, are you serious, man? Are you serious? Are you serious? So, what I did was, I took, let me show you. So what I did was, the head of it was completely gone, right? It was just slick. So here's a trick. So I took a chisel, a flat chisel, and I sharpened it. I got it really, really sharp, right? And I took, so you got the bolt head like this, and it's slick, right? I took the chisel, and I put the chisel on the edge, like that right there at an angle, right? So if you're looking at it like so, I took it and put it on there as an angle, like that, right? What do you say, Jaguar Palace 505? Yep. I don't know what a COK is. What is a COK? What is that? Yeah, I took a chisel like that right there, got on the edge of it, and tap, tap. Just give it a little tappity tap, like Happy Gilmore, just tappity tap, just tap, tap, and just kept, before you fell for it. No, I understood what it, I didn't fall for nothing. I knew what it was. So I marked it first with a Sharpie to see if it was turning. I put it on there like that, right, and I just tap, 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 and just kept tapping it. And eventually tapped it so much, and it almost, it almost cut the whole edge off. And then, then I went over here and I started, and then all of a sudden it started turning. And I just kept tap, 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 tap. And then finally it come out. I'm like, whoever put that in there needs to take their weebles and put on a table and hit with a hammer. Because that right there was uncalled for. And it was probably done at one of them Jiffy Lubes. But anyways, let's see what we got going on. I suggest using 520 conventional. You will get max mileage, and we run 5,000. In what? What do you run conventional oil in? Now my 2015, it takes 020 in your Fords. Got you. So in my 2015 Silverado, it takes 020 synthetic. But I have recently bumped up to 520. No, yeah, it takes 020 synthetic. Here recently, I bumped up to 520 synthetic because it's got I just hit 200,000 miles on it. What else y'all got going on? Man, we jumped up to like 200. We jumped up to like 200 people. Man, I believe that's a record, boys and girls. We up to 82 right now. Like I said, this week ain't gonna be exciting because it's wiring and nobody likes wiring. Nobody likes wiring. It's boring. But like Ginger Rogers 711, he suggested it that I go live every day at 5 o'clock to keep the rhythm going, and we just talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. I run implement oil in my 6.9 diesel. Yeah, I just changed the oil. Look at this. I just changed the oil. Well, I didn't. I had a old student. He's went out on his own. He's doing his own thing, doing mechanic work. So I had him to service my Jeep, which has a 5-cylinder turbo diesel engine in it. And I had him to change the oil. And the engine's out of 85 Mercedes 300 SD. So I had him change the oil filters, the fuel filters. Had him put new brakes on it, new brake pads, calipers, rotors, wheel cylinders, brake shoes, master cylinder, and booster, and a new battery. Look at this. What are we looking at? I can't see nothing. You can't send pictures on here. Oh, I get 22 miles a gallon with that truck, even though pulling a 20-foot. I got one even better than that. I got one better than that. So my 2015, how much does that pontoon weigh? On my end, while we had a 106 on my end. A while ago, it was 218, and I don't know what in the world happened. It jumped up to 218 for just a little bit because I screenshotted it. I was like, that's crazy. How much does that pontoon weigh? Do you know? Do you know how much that pontoon weighs? So while you looking on that, I'll tell you this. So my 2015 Silverado has the 5.3, which is in direct injection, and I have the DOD turned off. And it has 3-inch full stainless exhaust, stainless headers and exhaust, cat delete. Okay, the DOD's turned off. That's all. And the RPMs, that's it. The cat's been turned off, or cat delete, catalytic converter delete, full 3-inch stainless exhaust, all the way out to the back with a Y pipe. So everything else, bone stock. My car trailer, my car hauler, I want to say it weighs like 3,200 pounds, maybe. I'd have to go look, but it's like let's just say 3,000 pounds for my trailer, my car hauler. I put, what in the world did I have on it last time? I had a 1970 Pontiac station wagon on there. No, let me take that back. I did have that, but I had my 54 Bel Air on there. Not weighted, it's a flipping bill. Oh yeah, it's like a box. So I had my 54 Bel Air coupe on my trailer, had it perfectly level. So right down like 5 miles from here, the cat scales for the interstate is right down the street. So I went down there and I weighed my trailer, or weighed my truck, unhooked the trailer, weighed the truck and the trailer separate. So the truck was on one square, the trailer was on another square. Then I hooked the trailer back up and I pulled off. And then I weighed truck and trailer together. Once I weighed the truck and trailer together, then I knew what the truck weighed, full of fuel, with me not sitting in the truck. So 20 gallons of fuel, no gear, no nothing, just a truck. No, nothing in the bed, nothing, just a truck. Then I weighed the trailer, just a trailer. Then I hooked the truck and trailer together and weighed them together. And then I took that. I come back to the shop, I loaded my 54 Bel Air on there, and I got it where I thought it was at, right? So I took the measurement, I took the weight of the rear axle with the trailer hooked up with no load, right? And I wrote that number down, right? So then I rode back to the scales. I got on the scales and I weighed the truck and the trailer separate. The truck was on one square, the trailer was on another square, and then I weighed it. And then I pulled off the scale, and I pulled back on the scale, and I got everything was on one pad. So the truck and trailer was on one pad, right? I got that scale, all right? Then I got out in the parking lot and I got the figuring. Then I pulled back on the scale. I marked the trailer, right? I marked the trailer where the truck car was at. And then they wasn't busy, so I was able to do this. So the trailer, the rear axle was on a square, and then the trailer was on a square. I moved the car up until the rear axle weight was exactly the same it was not loaded. Does that make sense? So if I got the truck and the trailer and what it weighed on the rear axles empty, I moved the load on the trailer until the rear axle weight on the rear wheels was exactly what it was when it wasn't loaded. So by doing that, they say that is a neutral. Now, one of my buddies, he's a truck driver. Now, that's what he told me. He said that is a neutral load weight. That means that it's neutral. Even though the truck and trailer's there and the truck's there, your weight of your trailer is perfectly balanced over the wheels of the trailer, and it's not putting so much ton weight on the truck, and it's even. So once you get that, let's just say I had 3,000 pounds rear axle weight. I get it back to rear axle weight, and then once I get that number right, I mark the trailer where the car is at, and then I measured the weight of the wheels on the axle on the trailer. So you got double axles. So if one axle's got more weight, I split it. So I put one axle on one way pad. Now this is just OCD. I put one axle on one way pad and the other axle on the other pad. And then if this axle is putting more pressure, then you got more weight on there. So once I've done that, he said, try to get that as close as possible without changing the weight of the tongue too much. So I can't remember what the number was, but it was a couple 100 pounds different. So I kind of moved it till it kind of evened itself out. So it kind of leveled itself out. And I want to tell you that I pulled that. Now that's a lot of work doing that. I pulled that truck and that trailer with that car all the way to Virginia Beach, running up the interstate, 80 mile an hour, and I was getting 26 miles a gallon, running 80 mile an hour on the bypass, and it felt like in tow mode, and you couldn't even hardly feel the trailer back there. Now, I'm sure there's a guy on here that's watching that he's a truck driver, and he hauls loads every day to Lynchburg, Virginia. He hauls. So I know he won't comment on here or talk about, loads and stuff like that. But he would probably be able to explain it to me better, or I can explain it to you guys better. That's how I was explaining. My son has a 206 F-158, so he can barely do 60. The truck is screaming and pushing it. Yeah. I've always been a Chevrolet guy myself. So the 5.3, the one in my truck, it's direct injection. I mean, it'll flat roll. With the pontoon, it'll flat roll. Now I got a buddy. Well, he used to. He sold it. He had a Platinum F350 or 450 diesel. I think it was 6.7. And he had a tune. He had a tune in it, and I borrowed it one time to pull my trailer in a car, and I fall out and pass somebody on the bypass, and I felt the rear end I felt the truck break loose, and I thought something had happened. I pulled over. Truck's got a little bit of lift kit on it. I thought something had broke. I pulled over and looked. Everything's fine. Go up the road, do it again. I pulled over, done it again. I called him. I was like, man, something's wrong with this truck, man. I said, and he's like, what are you doing? I was like, nothing, man. I said, I fall out to pass somebody, and it feels like the sun gun's fixing to fall apart. He's like, you're spinning wheels. I was like, do what? He's like, you're spinning wheels. I was like, no, I ain't spinning no wheels in your truck, man. I'm not hot dog. He said, no, I'm telling you, you're spinning wheels. You're falling out to pass and you're getting on it. And I said, yeah. He said, you're spinning wheels. The back tires are breaking loose. I said, you crazy. He said, I promise you, spinning wheels. I said, okay, fine. So I done it again, and I kind of took the side camera, the side mirror, and I turned it down where I could see the tire. And sure enough, when I would fall out to pass on the interstate running 70, 75 mile an hour, and I'd fall into passing gear to pass somebody, you know, on the bypass, you could see blue smoke just swirling on the tire. That was a bad mama jamma. But it was a 6.7 diesel, had a turbo, the turbo was bigger on it, and had a tune on it, whatever. That thing, I'd have to keep looking back to see if my trailer was behind me. So, yeah. All right, boys and girls, been on here for 51 minutes, and I wasn't planning on here being on this long because I thought it wasn't going to be interesting tonight, but we talked about a little bit of everything. No, I'm not Muslim. Somebody just asked that. Hey, getting 22, 23, 24 miles a gallon, pulling a heavy load with anything is good, is impressive. It's impressive. Are you a welder? I'm a lot of things. I've been welding since a wee little lad. What kind of welding you want to do? Stick, TIG, MIG. Ray Outdoors. I'm waiting to see if somebody says something. Rifle season came in Saturday here in North Carolina for deer hunting. And that's all I've been hearing in the mornings. Boom, 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 boom. And then boom, 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 boom in the afternoons. Anywho's, welcome to Whoville. All right, boys and girls. Coming back tomorrow at 5 o'clock, so go up there and hit your notification thing. So you get an alert that I'm going live tomorrow at 5. I'll try to have something a little bit more interesting. Y'all never did say if you wanted me to start doing some lessons out of the textbook. Is that something y'all want to do? What you think, Ginger Roger 711? Think that'd be something we ought to do? Think we ought to do like a teaching series out of the textbook? Out of the school textbook? We just start with chapter 1 and we just do a lesson. Torch welding. Talking about with silicone bronze. When you mean like torch, are you talking about like acetylene torch? Or are you talking about like TIG torch? You're going to have to be a little bit more specific. Talking about, what do you think, Ginger Roger 711? Think we ought to do like a no, yes. Yes, no? What do you think, Rogers? Think we ought to do, think that'll do good? You've gave me some tips. Think if I'd done like, let's say, not this week. Well, I mean, we can start this week. I mean, this electrical stuff really ain't that. I mean, this electrical stuff, it ain't. I mean, acetylene torch, yes. That's old school stuff, man. That's like OG stuff. That's like brazen and coat hanger and sweat and pipe and flux core and all that. Lead sweating. Is Is that what road we running down, Ray? So what do you think, Ginger Rogers? Say tomorrow, I'm old school is better. Hey, old school is good until old school is not good. Wiring diagrams, are you, Ginger, have you lost your, that's what we doing right now, man. We doing wiring diagrams now, brother. Some body work. I'm talking about, hold on one second. I'm going to go get my textbook. So just, everybody, there's 98 people on here. Just hang tight. Let me go get my textbook so I can clarify what I'm talking about. So y'all just hang tight. Don't go nowhere. I'm coming right back. I got to go to the office and get my book. And I'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. Everybody hang tight. Y'all just hang tight. I'm getting the textbook. Y'all just hold on a second. I gotta turn the light on. Just hold on. All right, boys and girls, hold on. Let me get my textbook, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Just hang tight. Hang tight, boys and girls. I'm coming. All right, boys and girls, I'm back. Like us. See how many people we lost? We lost. We was 98 when I walked off. Now we're 76. I think you even show a car start to finish. Man, that right there will be like forever and a day. I'm talking about this. This is the textbook from the college. So this right here is the textbook that I teach out of at the college. So there are 7, 14, 20, 27, 35. There's 35 chapters. Oh yes, that's fine. I was on track. There is 35 chapters in this book. So this is what I'm talking about. I mean, so like chapter 1. See, chapter 1, Introduction to Collision Repair. So that kind of goes about what you was asked in bodywork. So chapter 1 is page 17 to page 30. And then chapter 2 is safety. And then that talks about safety. And then chapter 3 is vehicle construction. You see where I'm going with this? See where I'm going? So for example, it says objectives. After studying this chapter, you'll be able to after studying this chapter, you'll be able to summarize the typical steps in collision repair process, compare various types of body shop ownership, describes the types of jobs available in the collision repair industry, explain the educational opportunities available to those who are interested in a career in collision repair. We don't need no stinking safety. So, what do you think, Ginger? Rogers, 7-Eleven. So, chapter 1 is introduction. Chapter 2 is safety. Chapter 3 is vehicle construction. Chapter 4 is fundamentals of collision damage. Chapter 5, Ray Outdoor, is welding and cutting. And chapter 6 is general purpose and equipment. So, what y'all think? Is that something you think that'd do good, Ginger Rogers, 7-Eleven? What you think? If you want to do that, I'll just start a daggone series and, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it even paint. Oh yeah, that's let's see let's see what chapter that is. Chapter 24, refinishing tools and equipment. That's section 5. That goes refinishing tools and equipment, refinishing materials, paint mixing and reducing or reduction, spray techniques, surface prep, color matching, paint application, specialty paints, detailing, and estimating. What do you think? What I'm gonna think? NATO 7.62 mm. I would watch. What y'all think? I mean, I've been doing this for 20 years at the college. Long time. Now this is this is not the very, very current book, but the difference is, the only thing they do is they just add a couple little different chapters and they change the cover. And basically what happens is, it's monies. You know what I mean? It's monies. Most of the time you don't even buy a book anymore. It's actually online. It's actually on Moodle. And then you do all of it. You don't even get a book anymore unless you just want to buy one. It's not required anymore to buy a book. I got all my books. I don't get rid of nothing. I got physics books. I got English books. I got all kinds of books. I took physics 1 and 2, psychology, sociology. What class y'all want to have? We can have anything y'all want. Business class, whatever. So if this is something that y'all think would go good and won't be wasting nobody's time, I'll jump on this like a duck on a June bug, and we'll just do a series. So we can do it every day, or we can just, what we can do like a chapter, because everybody's got lives, everybody's got stuff to do. We can say, hey, look, on Mondays or Tuesdays, we just pick a day, hey, we're gonna do chapter 1, and then the next day we'll review that chapter, and everybody gets on here and asks questions. So if we do a chapter, say for example, let's just say that we do introduction to collision repair, and I could probably do this whole chapter in an hour. Right? And then on day 2, come back and do a review, do the review questions right here, and do the review questions on day 2, and then we go from there. And then we jump to the next week and we do chapter 2, and then we do the review questions. We do a chapter a week, and then we can kind of review. What y'all think? Y'all chew on that and y'all let me know. Drop down in the comments and let me know what you think, because I have been thinking about this for a while. Now on Facebook, I have a lot of this on Facebook already, and they're old videos, but I've got a lot, and I would just sit in here and just talk. I like to talk. I could talk the ears off a billy goat. All right, boys and girls, been on there for 64 minutes. I appreciate every single one of you. Share this, comment this, share it with some folks y'all know. There's no wrong questions and there's no dumb questions. The only questions that are dumb is the ones that's not asked. So if you got a question, ask it. If this is something that y'all want to do, I'll do it. We'll just schedule it, do it once a week, and we'll do one chapter and then we'll review it. And we'll go from there. Like I said, boys and girls, I got somebody calling me. Remember I said, boys and girls, don't worry about the man up the road or the man down the road. Sweep off your own front porch while sweeping off anybody else's. Put God first, let loose and drag, peace up and chicken grace.